Today, guys, we're going to discuss the departure of Ruben Amorim of Man United and how it's all unfolded, what managers they can possibly get, when they will get it, and stuff like that. Yeah, so if you enjoy this kind of content, remember to subscribe to the channel and we'll dive right into it. Ruben Amorim was appointed in 2024 in November, and he was given a contract running to 2027, and the Jim Ratcliffe and all in the hierarchy suggested that he would get the full 3 years to prove himself because they have a project in place and they want to follow it for once instead of just sacking managers and sacking managers. And obviously his first couple of months was rough, but he even stated he wanted to come in January or even the summer if they could find somebody for that point to then do so he wasn't messing up his legacy. And he was right to that extent. Like, he did not have the facilities available to do well in that environment. But when he was given those, I'll talk about that later on in another video, it did change. It did change. Like, but that first couple of months, he had the worst ever finished in modern history for Man United. Finished in 15th. Obviously, they got the Europa League final. That's clearly good to state. But they got beat off of Spurs. But a game against two of the worst teams was never going to be that kind of game. Where both teams are kind of. But obviously, that wasn't the case, and we kind of knew that final wouldn't be great. But in the summer, he kind of moved on to a different approach, and he was like, we'll get a couple of good signings in. They got Cunha, they got Mbebu, and they got a couple others, and they were Lammers, the goalie. He's been immensely better, and he's made that position his own. Obviously, Onana got sent away. The Hoyland got sent to Napoli on loan, which is a very good loan for United because if he comes back and is a good striker, he can obviously start. They start the season off okay, but you could see they were trying to get better, and they were progressively getting better as the days went on, and they continued to win games that maybe we never expected them to. Performances were getting much better. They weren't losing as much, and if they were losing, it was like 1-0. It wasn't like previous like 4-0, 6-0, whatever it was before, and it wasn't bad performances. But obviously, Amarin had problems at Man United, such as maybe not getting on with players like Rashford, who's obviously doing quite well abroad. Sancho, players like that, which is fair enough because sometimes you can't get along with players under your management style, which is fair enough. It's fair enough. Obviously, we go up to the current time, and it's just the day after he got sacked. You're like, why has he been sacked? Jim Ratcliffe, quote unquote, said he would get 3 seasons. I've actually saw so many clips of Man United fans such as Mark Goldbridge, Angry Ginge, a couple others on Sky Sports like Gary Neville, Roy Keane, and they are. Roy Keane obviously is probably not that surprised, but Gary Neville and the rest of them are, and because they have big fan bases, they're able to like create an opinion essentially. I mean, a lot of people, a majority agree with that opinion. You know, it's kind of right. he shouldn't have been sacked. You promised him 3 years of stuff, results and performances were getting better. Man United for once did not look like a laughing stock, but they've completely abolished that reality, and now they're back to square one, and they need to find a new manager. Who will that be then? Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels a bit. It just does not sit right with me, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks to be like he's interested in an interim role to the summer, so that could be good. But I think it's more important about the long term manager, because Man United cannot be sacked managers left, right, and centre. Because I saw a list of managers who have been sacked, and it's like all standing next to each other. It's in Old Trafford, and it's just, it is sad. It is utterly sad. They've had like 10 managers over the last 10 years. Obviously, long term managers are a bit different, but there's been a couple of them been linked. Marco Silva from Fulham, obviously, that would be a very good manager, but Fulham, he's been at Fulham for a while, so if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Obviously, you got Oliver Glasner, who is similar to Ruben Amorim in the sense his formation, his style of play, but and obviously he's linked away with Crystal Palace, so I think that could be a possibility. Enzo Maresca, obviously, because he just left Chelsea, and we saw how good he does in a whole, but I still don't get understood why Chelsea sacked him. So, got many names, and yeah. So, summary of this video, guys, is I don't understand why they sacked him. I think they've made the wrong decision, but there's many other candidates out there that hopefully, because Man United is one of the clubs here, I don't know. Sometimes you just see it's like, it's kind of sad. You've seen the board ruined by United, and so hope you have a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel and keep smiling. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.